Hi, and welcome to this tutorial where I'm going to show you exactly how to create the page that you're seeing in front of you right now. So this page, we're going to be doing this in WordPress. WordPress is it's a blogging platform that you can install on any website. It's very easy to use and it's very popular, and that's why we're going to be using this. So the website that we're going to be creating right now is this. This is my personal website. It's called TinyMCE. It's a website where I offer resume writing services to people. Now, as you can see right off the bat, we have a big image that with a big tagline that says "Kickstart your career with our finest resumes." And when you scroll down, you'll see we have cover letters, resumes, an interview manifesto, which is essentially my tips on how to be in an interview, how to handle yourself, and how to maximize your chances of getting the job. And then we have a blog that's technically, it's coming soon. Then when you scroll down, you see I've written why people should use my business, my services. I've compared a bad resume with a good resume over here. Then I essentially show who it's for: entry-level, corporate, and technical. Then I explain a bit how we work, put a nice little picture over there. Why work with us? I have a nice little testimonial here. And then I have a get in touch with us along with a button that when you click it, it goes to send an email to us. So this is what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to show you exactly how to create this exact page so that you know how to make your own page and then customize it the way you like. What I'll be showing you here is exactly how I did this and how the basics work. And then you can go ahead and make your own pages, make extra pages as you like. So let's get started. Now I've created another website, a subdomain, so that I can create this from scratch. So the only thing that I've done right now is I have installed the theme. So the theme that we're going to be using is called, I'm going to show you, it's called Ultra Theme. Now before we start, you do need WordPress and you need a website to actually be able to do this. If you have a website, that's great. If you don't have a website, I would recommend you go to siteground.com and get a hosting plan and a domain name from them. Why them? I personally use them and I am beyond impressed with their service and their quality. They have amazing uptimes, the speeds are very fast, it's very cheap too. They have plans at like $4 a month, which is incredible. They have amazing customer service, customer support. Whenever I had any small issue, I was trying to do something and I wasn't sure how, it was just a click away and I would get onto the chat and then someone would be right there and help me. And they're all super qualified and they work very hard and I recommend them greatly. So once you have a website, you're going to want to install WordPress on it. If you go to SiteGround, they have a one-click WordPress installation, which essentially means you click and then your WordPress is installed and you're good to go. So after you've installed WordPress, you'll be able to access a dashboard like this. Now, first, like I said, you're going to want to get a theme. The theme is called Ultra, and how you get it is you go to themes, you go to add new, and then it's a simple search when you type Ultra, and then you install it and you activate it and you'll have something that looks like this. You'll have an image too on top, but I've removed it for now because we're not going to be using exactly that image. Now, after you download your theme, we're going to be needing a couple of plugins. Now, don't worry, I'm trying to make this tutorial as code-free as possible. The only code that we're going to be using is very little code, and I've compiled everything in one place where you can find it in the description, all the code that you need, and it's very easy, and I'll show you exactly how to do it. It's really easy, you have nothing to worry about. So we're going to go ahead and install some plugins first. We're going to install all the plugins that we need right now for our video, for our website. So we're going to go to plugins and then we're going to go add new. And here I have the list of plugins that we're going to get. The first one is called Arconix Shortcodes. I'm going to click that, search, and then it's going to be the first one here, install now. Once it's installed, we're going to activate the plugin and we're good. Now we can go to the next one, which is Black Studio TinyMCE widget. I'm gonna click add new search. Yeah. Now I'm installing these plugins right now. You can skip ahead after I've installed them. The list is in the description, and I'm not gonna explain what each of these plugins does right now. I'll explain them as we use them, as we go along. So we're just gonna install it to save time. That's disable comment. Disable comments is pretty straightforward, and we're gonna be using that, and you'll see why. Okay. Alright, so after you've installed all these plugins, just make sure that you have all of them. Go into your plugins and then installed plugins, and then just make sure that you have all of them. If you do, then then we are ready to start. So first, what we're going to do is we're going to create a page. So we go in pages, all pages, and then add new, and we'll just put this, we'll call it home. And here we don't have to write anything, but I'll write something just for fun. This is the home page. Now what we're going to want to do is change the template to a full width template. Now what this does is it essentially removes the sidebar, which you would find in blogs. And since we're not making a blog, we're making just a professional landing page, then we'll be fine. We don't need a sidebar. Once you do, the plugin that we've installed, Title Remover, it depends on which theme you use. This theme has templates already without titles in them. But should you use another theme that doesn't have this feature, you can just click this little check mark that's going to hide the title of your page, because we don't want to see any titles in our pages. After that, you want to click Publish. So now we have, if we view the page, I'm going to open a new tab. This is our home page. Now this doesn't look right because we have the comments here, and we don't want that. We would want that if we're hosting a blog, but we don't want that. So I've made you download a plugin that's called Disable Comments. So if you go into Settings and click Disable Comments, you can just click everywhere, and what this does is essentially disables every comment on your website. So save changes. And then if you go back to pages and our home page, and then if you view the page, the comments are gone. So now essentially what we have is a blank canvas to be able to do whatever we want to do. But the way this theme works is, right now if I just go on the main page of my website, which is this, you'll see something like this. This is not what we want. This shows a blog. So we want to change that. So we'll go to Settings, then we'll go to Reading, and then we'll put the front page displays a static page, and we'll select our home page and save changes. That way, whenever we click on home on our website, even here now, if we click refresh, we see the home page that we were creating right now. So that's the first page that people will see when they click your website. So far, so good. Now we're going to create the slider, which is the big image that I had right here. The big image, the big attractive image that grabs people's attention. So what you want to do is you want to go to Meta Slider, which is a plugin that we've downloaded. You want to click on this little arrow. I've already made one, but you just click on this little arrow, which creates a new slider. which we can rename to main slider. And then we can add a slide. Now I already have uploaded my image. It has to be a large image, but make sure that the text, I've done this in Photoshop and I've made it match my website's font and everything, which I'll show you how to do after. And the image, my image is 4,608 pixels by 1,400 pixels. Make sure that it's at least 2,000 by 700, because that's the width that we're going to be using. So after you have that, you upload it, you click add the slider, and it's going to add it to the slider. Now here you have to get these dimensions, 1920 by 500. This is a trial and error. You can try whatever you want, whatever works best for you, but I found that for me this is what works. And then you untick arrows and you make sure the navigation is hidden. That way all you see is a big image. Now of course, if you want to have more images, if you're going to have a slide where you can switch between images, you may want to click arrows and you may want to play with the time settings that it takes for the images to change. But for now, for this website, we're only going to use one image. It's all we need. So now we're going to want to click save. Now we have our slider. But then if we refresh, our slider is not in our page. So how to fix that? We're going to go to Appearance, Theme Settings. And a reason why I love this theme is because of the extensive theme settings. There are so many settings that you can choose from. It gives you a lot of customization options and it just lets you be free and do whatever you want. So when you're in the theme settings, you want to go to Home. And then here you would have Demo Slider or you would have none. What you want to do is you want to click on the slider we've just created, which in our case is Main Slider. And then you want to save the settings. Now if we refresh, look at that. We have our slider right there, big, perfect. Now that we have that, everything is aligned. Now we can go on and create the next part, which is our cover letters, resumes, interview manifesto, and blog. Now, how we're going to do that is we're going to go on our page and we're going to work within our page. This is where everything's going to go down. Our page, we're going to put things, we're going to create things, we're going to do whatever we want. So I've had you install a plugin called Page Builder. So now you should have a tab here that says Page Builder. You want to click that, and then if anything pops up, you press OK. And now what it does is we're in the page editor, the visual editor, which is a much easier interface. The way this works is it works by rows and columns. And why that's good is it makes the website responsive. Instead of having just one big page, one big website, now you're going to have a lot of little columns and rows that can be replaced depending on the screen size. So that's very good for mobile. That's very good for adjusting to any different screen. So if you take our site, for example, the original site, if we, for example, scroll it down, you can see that this moves along with it. And then if there's no more space, they become like this. They start scrolling down like this. This is why we're using the page builder, for that responsive effect. That's what I'm going to show you exactly how to do. So what we're going to create now is we're going to create these little things. So we're going to go to add a row, and we're going to make a row of 4 because we have 4 different columns. And each of them has to be equal 25% each. You can obviously change these if you want, but for now we're going to leave them to 25. First, we're going to delete this row because we're not using this row. It was just for testing. And now what I want to do is I want to add a widget to each individual part. So I'll add a widget, and the widget that we're going to add is a visual editor, which is essentially when you write a post or when you have any normal page, this is what you're using to edit your page or your post. But now we can have multiple of them, each separated by their own columns. And then we're going to go to edit. And now, as you see, this is exactly what you would see if you're editing a page. You have visual and then you have text. So now what we want to do is we want to create this. But first we need the fonts and we need the icons. These are very easy to do. So first, before getting to this, we're going to have to create a font. So what we're going to do is, if you go to settings and go to Google Fonts, which is a plugin that I had downloaded, which is Easy Google Fonts, we want to create a font control. So the font name, we'll put it products, because in our case we're dealing with the products, and create font control. And then we're now going to create a CSS selector. Now don't be scared, this is very easy. All you want to do is you're going to put a dot and then you name your CSS. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say product title. This is just for me to know that this is the product title, and this is, I'm going to read it, product titles, and then save font control. And then we're going to create a new font control, which is going to be product descriptions. We create that one, and then to make it easy, product like this. So now we have two fonts that we've created. Now we can go ahead and edit our page, and you're going to see exactly how this works, because we're going to be able to edit it in real time. So now the reason why I don't have the 4 columns anymore is because I didn't save, which is what I should have done, but we'll do it right now. So we have the 4, edit visual editor, and then we go to edit. Now you want to make sure that you're in text mode, because this is where you can put in some code. If you're in visual mode, it's a little different, so make sure you're in text. Now what you want to write is this. It's very simple. You want to write span, and then the class, which is going to be exactly product title. And then we're going to close this, and then we're going to write cover letters, and then we're going to close the span. You don't have to know what this means, you just have to write it, and you'll see what this does. Now that we have this, if we click done and if you click update, you can see on our page that we have cover letters here. It's a start. Now what you want to do is we want to create a sort of it's not yet, no. The separator, I wanted to show you guys the separator, but it's not yet, it'll be after. So now we want to create the description. So we're going to hit enter, span, class, and then we're going to put the product description that we've created. Product, close the span, and here we're going to write down our description. So for the sake of this video, I'm just going to copy paste what I wrote here, paste it here, and then we're going to close the span once again. Now that we have this, the text is there. Now we just have to make it look good. So the text is there. First, we want this to be centered, and I would prefer if there was a space between the cover letter and the description. So to do that, we're going to go to edit, and here you have 2 options. You can either play with the code and make it centered using code, but since we've already written our text in the text option, we cannot go to visual, highlight everything, and then just click align center. Now what this is going to do is this is going to automatically write the code for us that this all should be aligned center. And then we just click enter to create a small space, and now it should look much better. So now we have this, which looks similar to this, but now we need the icon. So for the icon, I've included in the description a site where we're going to go and get the icon. So here, if you copy this site, and then we go and get the icons, we have a list of all of the icons that we can use, and we use them by name. So find icons that you want and then use them. So for this purpose, we want to use the icon, I believe, is align left. Yeah, align left is this one. It's this same icon that you can see right here. Now that I know the name of the icon, what I want to do is, first I want to make it so that it matches the color. Because if I just put an icon like that, the color won't be there. Now to see this, we're going to go take a look at, this is the dashboard of the website that we're basing everything off of. If I go to pages and then all pages. And then if I go to my front page, which is essentially the same page that we're creating right now, and there should be, yeah, this is the page builder. This is exactly what we're creating right now. It's just the final step. So what you want to copy is this. And of course, it'll be in the description, but you can see it right here. So what you want to do is you want to click enter in the text, because we're copying code. Remember, whenever you're copying anything with code, you must put it in text and not in visual. So if you copy this, what this is, it says, put me an icon of the class align left, which is exactly this icon right here. That's what it says. And here, when you write the fa-XXX, it means put it 4 times in size. Now, of course, we want to make this centered, right? To make this centered, you can make it really easy and just copy the, wait, that disappeared. You can just copy the style, put it here, and end the style, and then press done. Now what's going to happen, we're going to have an icon. We have this icon, but it doesn't match the color that we want. So to this, we're going to have to jump into a little code. But don't worry, this is really, really easy. So what you want to do is you want to go to Appearance and then Custom CSS. And I'm just going to open a new tab because the flow will be easier. And here you can just enter your own code for whatever. And I've included the code right here, which is this part. You'll find it in the description as always. And all you can do is put a new line, copy it. Now what this does is it says anything that is FA, put it in this color, which is the color that we're going to be using. So since we're using align left, which is this icon, we have to write exactly this name. So if we write this name, instead of the, because you had a triple axis, instead of the axis, you write align left, and then you press update, and that's it. And now if we refresh, we will have them in blue. Simple, right? That's pretty much all of the code that you're going to need to do today. Now we want to get this button that says read more, which is again, really, we can close simple custom CSS. So to get that button, you can go to the visual now, press enter, and then I've copied the buttons here in the description. So what you want to do is you want to copy this link and paste it here. Now the reason this works is because you've downloaded a plugin called Arconix Shortcodes, which is exactly this. This, when it's in brackets like this, it means it's a shortcode. It calls a code from somewhere else. So to make it easy, you just have to write this and it's going to call a bunch of codes from other places, which is where the plugin is. So if you don't want to have anything to do with the code, you just have to copy and paste this and just change whatever you want. So for now, let's say I wanted this to go to a page that was tutorial.10resume.com/cover letter. Now, of course, this is a page that I don't have, but if you wanted to make if you had a page, you could just point it there. Now, on the button title, you can put whatever you want. I would put, in this case, read more. And that's it. That's all you have to do, and you press update, and then you'll have a button right below. Looking very good, very, very good. Here, so we're getting closer. Now, for some reason, the icons don't want to play nice with me. So what we have to do is we have to copy this again, copy this, and paste. For some reason, they just don't want to play nice. But now we have them. Okay. So now that this is done, all we really have to do is get 3 more of these. Now, instead of going back and writing everything down, we can just click here, duplicate, 1, 2, 3. 3 more times, and literally drag and drop one at a time. Now, if you go and edit each one, we can just go in the text and we can edit whatever we want. So in this case, I would want this to say resume. So I put down resumes. Then the description, I would copy the description right here, and I would replace it with over here. And then the button, I would have this, instead of going to cover letter, I would have it go to resume if that was a page that I would have. And the icon, I would just change the icon to something a little more, that looks a little more like a resume. And if we look at an icon anywhere, if I just write maybe document, I can just write file text O, which I believe that's the one I've used. So if I file text O, that's the one. So I just copy this part, go here, and instead of the F8 align left, I just put FA file text O. Now, if we click update, you'll see we have all of them. Now, why is this one gray? Do you remember we switched this one in the CSS to become blue? Well, we have to do that for every single icon that we have, but that we're going to do at the end. So now that we have this, we have these buttons. Now we're going to want to make the interview manifesto. So I'll just write manifesto. I would copy the description that I have here. I would put it here. I would change the URL, interview manifesto. And then I would change the icon to maybe a person. So I think this one's called a user. It's called a user. So I would just change it to user. It's very easy. So instead of FA align left, I would put it to user. Click done, and just, I like to always look at what I'm doing to see if everything goes as planned. So it does. So now we can see the interview manifesto is right here. That's perfect. And now the last one, our blog. So change this to blog. Take the description. Put it right here. Change the URL to blog. And then this would be align center, I'm sure, but just to make sure. Align center, that's the one that we want. So we just, instead of align left, we write center. And then we should be done. This should look very professional, very smooth, very clean. Now we want to fix these color issues. So what you want to do is you want to go back to Appearance, Custom CSS. And what you've done with this one, with the align left, you want to do with the three others that you use. So to make it easy, just copy and paste this one more time. And instead of this being aligned left, we're going to put align center. Doesn't have to be in order. That's fine. As long as you have all of them. Then you want to put, I believe it was user. And then you want to put, if I'm not mistaken, file text O. Now what this does is it tells all of these icons that they should be this color, which is the color that our main theme is going to be. Now if you just click update and you press refresh, all of them are color. Now of course you can make these any color you want, any color you want. It all depends on what you want and what you choose to do. So now that we have this, we're good to go. On to the next one. What's next? I can make my own resume. Okay, now actually, before we do that, let's just make it look good. What you want to do is you have here your admin toolbar. You want to click on my blog and click customize. Now, this is where the fonts that we've created come into play, because now we can actually change everything we want and we can see it in real time and we can adjust it exactly as we want. So if you go to typography and then we go to theme typography, which is the ones that we've just created right now. We've created product descriptions and product titles, and you can click edit font. Now the font family we're going to be using is Open Sans. That's the one we're going to be using. And already you can see that the fonts have changed, but you'll notice it very soon. Now we want the font weight and style to be 700. Now you see they're changing in real time. Now if you go to appearance, we want the color to be pitch black, so we'll put them black. That changed them to black. And we want the font size to be a bit bigger. maybe something like this. And the line height, that's really up to you, but we'll keep something like this. And the letter spacing, that's entirely up to you. We'll leave them like this. So that's our end result. If we click save and publish, our font is there. Now, if we want to edit the description, which is the other font that we've chose to edit, we can also change the appearance, change the font size to whatever we want. It really all depends on what you want, but I think we're going to leave it as it was, like this. It looked pretty fine like this. So now that we have that done, we can move on to the, don't worry about the distance. I know it doesn't look exactly equal. You can just fix that by adding, let's say, one more word of text or anything like that. It doesn't matter. These are like very fine details that there's no point in essentially wasting time over. So the next thing that we're going to be doing is doing this. So now now that you know already how to write the text on a website, I'm gonna start going a bit faster just to save time. So where you want to go is you want to go into pages, and we're gonna create a new row. Just wait a bit till the page builder. Yeah, there we go. We're gonna add a row, and this row is gonna be 1 because this is one row and this is all one column and it's all centered. So we do that. Press OK. And now you want to add a widget, which is going to be, again, a visual editor. Now we're going to want to create our text. So I'm just going to write down the code for you, and then we're going to go and create the fonts, and we're going to go and create the separator, because as you can see, there's a little separator here that we have to make. So what I'm going to do is the same thing we've done with our products. Span, class, and now I'm going to create a class right now, but we're gonna be creating the class right after. So this one we'll call main title, and then we'll close the class, and then we're gonna write I can make. Actually, this has to be in brackets. I can make my own resume. The reason I'm putting brackets is because here I'm quoting someone who would say that they can make their own resume for the purpose of showing them that, look, this is what you make and this is what we make, and to sort of it's something to get them to buy our product. Now I'm going to close the span. I'm going to press enter. I'm going to open HR. It's not too hard. And here, as you can see, I'll just have it here for comparison. Yeah, we can just copy that. HR. Yeah, okay. It's class. And now we're going to make it. We can just essentially create anything. I'm going to create, what can we call this? Separator main. And then close the bracket. This is going to create a separator. And now I'm going to put the span class main sub. Now the reason I'm putting main is because here I have one that's a font that's a little bit bigger and one that's a little bit smaller. And because they're on the front page, I like to call them the main because that's like the main page. So now we can edit them individually so they won't have to be the same size. Main sub. And then what I'm going to write, we know you can, but our resume writing can give you that boost you need. So you can, but our resume writing can give you that boost you need. And now we're going to want to close the span. So as far as coding, this is as complicated as it will get. Now we want to center this. So we go, and as you can see, there's a separator right here, but it won't look exactly how we want it to look. So if we select all of this, and then we click Align Center, and I always like to put one space above and one space below. That way there's a little room between this and the next row, which always looks nice. So if you click Update, let's see what this gives us. So what this would give us is, I can make my own resume, we know you can, and that little separator. Although this looks nice, I prefer it to match what I want. So what we want to do is, again, go to Appearance, Custom CSS, and then you want to copy this one right here, the separator code, which I've already included for you. Copy this one, and then I put separator, but since in the page we've put it at, actually I don't remember where you put it. Let's change it to separator. So just copy this like that. You don't have to change anything. This is automatic. Update the CSS, and then if we go back to our page, we have to change it to separator. Because remember, what we're doing is we're putting the code here, but the code has to know what it has to show. And that's what the CSS is for. The CSS is essentially where you tell the website, okay, this thing, put it like this. This thing, put it like that. So the names have to match. We're going to remove the main here because in our CSS, we only had separator. So when you do this and you press update, which should update, and you press this, we're going to have a nice separator like this. Now, if you want to change it, obviously, if you go to Custom CSS, I'll just give you a tip. Border 0, height 0, you don't need that. Border top, 2 pixels, border bottom, 2 pixels. That's how thick this is going to be. I like it at 2 pixels, but you can obviously change it if you want. The color, obviously put the color that you want. And the width. If we change the width to, say, 10%, what this is going to do is it's going to make it smaller. 10% of your screen. Now, the reason we use 10% is because we're having a responsive website. So whatever the screen size, the separator is always going to be, in our case, 40% of our screen size. Which is good because you always want it to look proportional compared to everything else. You don't want a huge line on a small screen. So now we have this. We want to change, obviously, the fonts. So if you go back how we've done it before, customize, typography, since we didn't add the fonts yet. No. So before doing that, you want to go to settings, Google Fonts, close that, and then create a new font control. The font control is going to be the main title. Create that, and then you want to put a dot main title, which is exactly what we've put into our row. And then create a new one, main sub, and then main, if that's what I wrote, which I believe it is. If not, we'll change it. Always make sure that this matches with what you have in your content. So if you go to all pages, home, and then we go here, it was main sub. That's what it was. Okay. So now we can refresh, and now we can see, we can go to my blog, customize, and we can have our new typography right here. So the main title, what I like, again, open sans. You want to really make it so that, and if you scroll down, you can see a change. You really want to make it so that everything matches, everything is the same font. And I really like this open sans. It looks good, and it looks good when it's all in capitals. So we're going to change the color to black. The font size, this we can make it very big because we want it to catch attention. That should be alright, fine. The line height, yeah, you can make it something like that. Letter spacing, it's really up to you. I'll leave it like that to save time. That's that. And now we're going to go to main sub. Again, open sans. And then we're going to want to put 700 again. Appearance, black. The font size, we're going to put it, I think that's fine. The line height. You just want to make it look good. That's what you want. And when you click on save and publish, now your page is saved. If you click exit, everything is saved. And now this is what your website looks like, which is good. Which is very good. Now, what you want to do is we have to put this picture. Now, what I've done is I went the easy way, and this is a picture. It's 2 pictures within a picture. So I'll show you exactly how I did that. So what you want to do is you want to add another row. This one with 2 columns because we're going to be having one picture here, which is the picture of the resume, and this other picture of the resume. Two resumes, two pictures. So 50-50. Then we want to put this one below because it's going below I can make my resume. We want to put this below. Now, there are multiple ways of doing this, but the way I like to do it is if you go to click here, the little wrench, go to settings, go to layout, and put the layout to full width. And then go to design, and then you're going to see this background image. You're going to want to put any background image that you want. So I'm just going to upload an image, which we'll put this one because it matches our site. And what this is going to do is, since you've put it full width, it'll show the image in the full width. And since we've put it as a background image, this whole row will have a background image. So now if you look at our site, we've created a new row with a background image right here. Now it's obviously small because we have nothing in our row. But as soon as we put the images in our row, we're going to see that. So if you go to Add Widget, Visual Editor, click Edit, and then Add Media. And then here's where I would put the images that these images I've created them in Photoshop already to save us time. And I've made them so that they have a transparent background, which is how this is going to work. Actually, I think the size was wrong. Let's try to put it to full size and see what's going on. So if you put that, and then if we put another widget here, by now I'm assuming that you already know how to put widgets and that kind of stuff, which is why I'm going a bit faster, because we don't want this to be a 5-hour video either. Now I put the other picture right here, put the same size, and let's just see what this gives us. If you click update, it should be here. Why? Okay, for some reason this image did not go through, but it will now. And if we update, we have our two images, which are like this. Now notice there's a bit more space in between both, so this can be easily fixed by just going here and clicking enter once. Yeah, I clicked enter, and then doing the same exact thing over here. Actually, make sure you don't click enter on the image, just have this thing right before, click enter, and then that should work. Yeah, so now we have the spaces here. So that's good. But now these images, when you hover them and say I click them, they show me this image, which is what I don't want. So to do that, we're going to have to just go into the code and just delete one little part. So here you have the code of the image. You just want to delete this part that starts with an A and that closes right here. So you want to delete this, and you want to delete the A at the end. And that's it. And now we want to do the same thing right here. Delete the A and delete this. What this is going to make is this is going to make it unclickable. So now if we refresh, we click, nothing happens. Good. We're one step closer. What's next? Will 10 resume work for you? All right. So this should be pretty easy. Add a new row. Since the way I've done this is to have one big text here and then 3 different text boxes here. I made 2 rows, one that has 1 column, and then this other row that has 3 columns so that I can put them all here. So what we're going to do is we're going to create the first row. We're going to put a visual editor. Make sure you put this one at the bottom so everything is in order. Then what we want to do is, since we've already created the font controls, you want to just redo them. Span class. Remember it was title, main, title. And then what you want to write is, will 10 resume work for you? Yes, it will. In any situation, we will make it work for you. Just a little plug right there. Now you want to put the separator, that's right here. So separator was hr class separator, close it, and then do like this. And then span class sub, close it, and then the description, which is this. All right, and that's it. Now that the code is written, we have it here. We want to center it, and then you want to press enter once and enter twice. Remember, like I said, I like to have a little space, so I'll do that. Update. Okay, so we'll update. Sorry, I just wanted to see where I'm at time-wise. So we update. Now let's see what this gives us. Will 10 resume work for you? Of course it will. We have this. Perfect. Now we want to create a new row, this time with 3. Put it at the bottom. Put this at widget, visual editor. Edit this. Now we want to write these little things, entry level. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll write span class. Now I just have to, we want to have the same font that we had over here. So to have the same font that we've had essentially over here, I just want to remember which one exactly it was. So we can just take a look, cover letters. You can easily just copy and paste this span right here. It was product title and product description. Now I remember. So we can just paste this product title, and here we can put, what did I put? Entry level. Entry level. That, then we put a space, and then we want to put part-time customer service. Okay. So this, we don't even need, we can just do it like that. Press enter and copy and paste these, and these will automatically work. And if you put this is centered, and then if you update, you'll have entry level, part-time, this. Okay, so now to make it easier, duplicate once, duplicate twice, put it here and move it here. And then this was corporate. So you want to edit it in code. Whenever you're editing code, always edit it in code. Unless you're aligning and stuff. If you're changing the text, always do it in code, because then something may mess up. Corporate, and actually, yeah, no, it's corporate, that's good. And then I want to put professional office firms instead of this. Done. And then here, it's technical, yeah. So, click edit, the text. Going to be technical, and if you copy and paste everything here, now everything should look good. Corporate, technical, all is there. Hey, we're getting there. We're almost done. We're almost done. Good. Okay. Now what's next? How we work. Okay. So now the way, if you don't know by now, the way we're going to do this, it's going to be, again, by rows and columns. So you want to add a row, and this one we want to add a row of, how much is it? It's 1, 2, of 3. So we want to add a row of 3, but these two, this one and this one, we want them to be proportional, and this one we want it to take off a whole half. So this is where this comes in. So we'll put 25% here, and then we'll put 25% there, and this should change by itself. If we put 25 here and 25 here, these two are half of a half, and this one is just a full half. So we put this. Now we have this row, and that's what's good about this page builder, is that you can virtually edit it in any way that you like. So here we're going to add a widget, visual editor, and then we want to put an icon with our text. It shouldn't be too hard. So let's see the way I did it right here, because bear with me, it's been a while since I've created this website, but we can do this. Okay, so what we want to do is edit, add media, and here you have to, what I've done is I got some icons right here that I can use. And these I've made once again in Photoshop. You can get them off the internet. You can use anything you want, but these are pictures. So the way, which one did I use? The way I did, okay, download. I got you. I'll download this one, which was the arrow here, and then insert into page. And now if you want it to be smaller, change the width right here and the height. So the width, I'll put it to 24, and the height, I'll put it to 24. Remove the A's so that it doesn't become clickable. We don't want clickable images. And now if you put visual, you have this one here. Now we can just press enter and write span class, which was product title, and then we can write we profile, and then span class product description, and then I'll just copy the description right here, put it here, close the span, and now this is what this is going to do. If we update, this is going to look like this. Okay, that doesn't look right, but we're going to fix it. So instead of remove the span of the description, because we're not going to be using it, and then if we go to visual, you just want to backspace so that it becomes right here. After you do that, we update, something that is not right. It's usually something with the code. So the code is here. Span class product and we profile more. See, we had to. This means that this whole thing is going to be in the product title font, which we don't want. So you want to delete this, and then we want to move it to we profile. After we do that, you move it here. You click update. Okay, now it looks better, but we want a space. So we're going to go to visual and press enter, and we have a space. Now, for some reason, the image is doesn't want to go there. If you click this, it's not working. What if you put this here? Will this do anything? It won't work. Okay. Because the way I did it over here in this other website is I've used more code, but I would really rather not use this code at all. So you know what? That's besides the point. The point is that you know how to create essentially this website. So we're just gonna make it a little different this time. You can always find something and make it work any way you want. That should work like that. That should work. So we'll do the, even to make it look better, you can just remove the image. We can just remove the image, have it here, update, and then we don't need an image. We can just do it without the image. So now what you want to do is you want to duplicate this once, duplicate this 2 more times, put one here, and put one here. See, you can now stack them up on top of each other. So what this is going to make is, it's going to give you this. 1, 2, 3, 4, which is very similar to what we have here. Okay. So now you want to change each one. So we'll put this one we write. This one as we write. And then we're going to change the description as well to this. and then this one's gonna be we review. Okay, so this one we review, and then this we're gonna change this to this, and then we satisfy, and we're gonna copy this. And then we copy this, and then we're good to go. Right, we profile, we review, we write, we satisfy. Perfect. Now, as you noticed, we're missing this part. So this, it's really easy. All we gotta do is add a new row, one column row, insert, add a widget, visual editor, and this is span class. You should know by now. Main title, close it, how we work, close the span, put a separator, hr class separator, and then close the class, and then all of this will be centered, right? And actually don't forget to move this exactly where you want, because if not, it won't be in the right order. Perfect. How we work. There we go. Okay. So now we want this image. This pretty straightforward. You have the second half that is totally free. Add a widget, visual editor, click edit, add medium, upload a file. Again, this file I've made in Photoshop, and you can just play around with the size until you get something that you really feel comfortable with. So let me just find the image wherever it is, right here. Again, transparent background. Now I put it as a full-size image, but I'm not sure if that'll look correct, but we'll see. See, this image is way too big, and once again, you can click on it, which we don't want. So we're gonna go ahead and change that. Go into the code, remove everything with the A, remove the A at the end. And here, the size, we're gonna put it, since it's a square, we're gonna put it 400 to 400. Because the image is squared and we want it to keep the same aspect ratio, put it the same number. So let's try 400 and see. And this is, again, trial and error. You can try your own thing. See, this looks good, but it's too close to our profile and review. So we want to center this image. Visual, click the image, press align center, and now everything should look good. Now it looks good. Our website is starting to make sense, and it's starting to look good. All right, now we're almost done. We just have these two little parts to do. So essentially, we're gonna create another row. This one column, because we're making the why work with us. And this one, sorry, I misclicked. This one. Okay, all pages. Something went wrong. There we go. Okay, we have to create the row again. One row, and then put it at the bottom. And then you want to click this, add a widget, visual editor, edit. And what we're doing here is I've put the small text above and the big text below. So that's instead of the big text above and the small text below. So that's just a little to change it up a bit. So what I want to do is put span class. And now we're going to put product description because we want the smaller text above. And we want to write why work with us. Span. Press enter, enter a separator, hr class. Okay, and now we want to put span class product title. It was actually main title. And this one, I'm sorry, it was main sub. And this we want to put because we satisfy 90% of our customers, which we always do, without a doubt. I can personally guarantee you that. Then we want to center this. Once again, center. Press an enter before and enter after, just to get that nice little space. And then, why work with us? This one, something went wrong in the code. That's why it's not like this, but we can easily fix that. Let's just see what's wrong. So what's wrong is span class main. We missed a T, main title. There we go. If something doesn't work, there's always a reason. You always have to find the reason. And voila. That looks pretty much the same. Now for the testimonial box, this I'm not going to show you how to do this because this depends on say you're building an online store, and they come with testimonial plugins. So it really depends on which e-commerce plugin you prefer, whether you use WooCommerce or eDigital Downloads, it doesn't matter. You'll get a testimonial box, and you can just put in your own testimonials, and it'll give you a short code. They can just plug in here, and then it'll automatically do this for you. So that's why I'm going to skip this part, and I'm also going to save time by doing so. So then we have to make the get in touch with us, which again, add a row, one column. Make sure the row is right here at the bottom. Add the widget, visual editor, and we're just doing the same thing we've been doing all this time. Span class, main title, get in touch with us, and then a separator, hr class separator, and then span class main sub. Don't be shy, we're very friendly, which we are. And make sure this is all centered. Once again, space before, space after, update, and now get in touch with us. We're just missing the testimonial box, but that's easily done, especially now that you know everything there is to know about making a website. But we're missing the button. So again, go down to the button size. Button size, copy that. And we want to go here, paste this. Now, what I have here, if you click this button, it's gonna directly send an email to us. It's gonna open whatever email software you're using, and it's gonna let you send an email straight to us. So, how you do this, it's really easy. In the URL of the button, you delete everything and you write mail to, and then if I'm not mistaken, it's mail to, 2 points, info@10resume.com, which is my email, and it can be your email, it doesn't matter. And then delete this, contact us. Now what's gonna happen, we're gonna test this out. If we put this, but see, this button is a little small. I would like it to be bigger like this. So instead, here you can see the button size, there's medium, the color is black, and the style is clear. So we want to change the style, the size, sorry, to large. The color, we'll leave it black, but you can put blue. If you go on the Arconix Shortcode plugin page, you'll see all of the codes, and I'll be sure to put a link down in the description as always. And we're going to put this, and this will make our button a little bit bigger, which will look better. So as you see, the button is a bit bigger. So if you click contact us, what this does is, I clicked it, it opened to be able to email to info@10resume.com. I can write the subject, I can write this, and I can send it, which is perfect. So don't save. Okay, so now that you have, essentially we've made our blog. Now you want to put in your information, or you may not want to put in your information. This is where this theme is really useful, because it allows you to essentially customize it the way you want. So if we go into appearance, theme settings, because we're done with this page, we've already created everything we needed, so we can now go to the settings. If we go to, where would that be? I'm trying to find. If you go to site text, if you're using this, you can put whatever phone number you want. I can put 555 info@10resume.com, and then you can put this, and if we do that, it's going to change to 5555 info. But if you don't have a phone number, you can just remove this, save settings, and you won't even have a phone number here. But now you have this home and home, which it's a bit of a conflict. So that you can remove by going to appearance, menus, and here let's create a menu, normal menu. Create a menu and manage locations. If you go to manage, because you have to have a menu created to be able to access manage locations. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new menu that has nothing. But this depends entirely on what you want. So now we have a menu that's normal menu and a menu that's nothing. If you go to manage locations, the top bar menu here is essentially what you see right here. This you can create your custom menus with your own pages, and you can all put them right here as you wish. But me, I like to have it clean, so I'll put nothing. So the top bar menu, I put nothing. And the primary menu, which is of course this one, I'll put my normal menu. Now I have to edit the normal menu. I'm selecting this one, and I want to add to menu this home page, and I save. Now you can obviously add your own pages and order them in which way you like, and they will appear here as they will appear up there. So now if you do this, this top part is gone and this is clean. Now this, you can either have your block title or your logo. It's very easy. You go to appearance, theme settings. Once again, amazing settings from this theme, and the logo. And I can choose my own logo, which I'll upload. I already have an image of it, which would be, let me find my logo, site logo. There we go. So that's my logo, transparent background, of course, save settings, and then my logo should appear right there. So my logo's here. When you click the logo, you go into your homepage. So now we have a site that looks pretty much good. It looks legitimate, it looks professionally made, and we've done it in, how long has it been now? In 1 hour. 1 hour, so we're good. So now, the footer, easy to customize. Go to my blog, customize, and then you wait till it loads. You can scroll down. You can put widgets, and you can put footer. And here you can essentially add, see how when I hover this, like there's like columns that you can use. So say if I wanted to remove this one, I can just remove it and it'll remove this right here. If I wanted to add a widget, I can add whatever I want to add. I can add a text. Click text and now add, hey, this is my footer. And you can customize it however you want, save and publish, and you're good to go. And if you want to change one last little thing, this copyright at the bottom, very easy to do. Go into appearance, theme settings, footer, and then you put in copyright, year, site title, which is already the default. So if you go into your block settings, general, you'll see the site title, which will put 10 resume. And that'll change my entire site title in WordPress to 10 resume. And then if we hit refresh, copyright 2015, 10 resume. And if I click 10 resume, it brings you to my homepage. So now I've just shown you how to create a landing page. This is what you use to get your clients interested in your product and make them want to buy. And if they want to read more, say about cover letters, well, there's a read more button. If they want to read more about resumes, there's a read more. That will all point them to their respective pages. And then here I show them a little why they need to use my services. Will 10 resume work for you? Now that you know how to do this, you're able to create, say, a cover letter page or a resume page. You're able to design these however you want to design them. I've made it really easy. I haven't used much code at all. And I've used a theme that essentially has a lot of options, which you can then customize. And even if you get the premium version, you can customize the color. You can change everything with respect to your website. So I hope that this video has been helpful to you. I had a lot of fun making it, and I hope that at least some of you have gotten something out of it. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, if you're looking for a website host, I would strongly recommend going to SiteGround.com. As you've seen, every time I've refreshed my website, it's been very fast, and there hasn't been any lag or any downtime or anything of the sorts. And I can guarantee you their customer service is incredible. They care so much about their customers, and they're always there and willing to help you and help your website and any issues that you may have, that it's my #1 recommend. And I wouldn't be lying to you when I said I personally use them for my websites. So there you go, guys. Enjoy the video and have fun making your e-commerce websites and your online websites using WordPress. My name is Darius Magis, and it's been my pleasure. Until next time.